Competitions are won in the gym and the training room. You just go to the competitions to collect your trophy. Boom! Mic drop. What's up, y'all? This is the next episode, and I figured I would make a whole complete episode about this one, and it's talking about competition and competitive analysis, right? So right now in the age of AI, it's so cool, the different tools that you can use to do competitor research. So many tools. I'm currently using Manus right now, and it's really just going through all competitors and identifying their weak points and what they're good at and where I can position Trailblaiz and what kind of messaging do I want to use or that I can use to be able to win. And it's incredible, right? So the research is there and it's great and it's saved me so much time in research, but just the fact that there is competition, right? It brings some things up inside of you as a person, right? And you think about, okay, like I'm going up against some big investors and big giants who are doing like some pretty big numbers when it comes to downloads, revenue, and these are the metrics that are important in the space that I'm in. Conversion rates of people who go from free to paid, like these are all very, very important metrics, and these are some guys in front of us who are doing good. Thankfully, I don't think it's that crowded of a space, because like when you think of AI journal at the moment for voice, nothing comes to your head. It's not like Kleenex or anything like that. That's a well-known brand, right? So at this point, I still feel like I can come out with a really strong strategy, build community, get people really into what I'm doing, what I'm building, who I am as a person and as a founder, and then try to win in that way, So I'm gonna see, that's what I'm hoping, at least, and these are things that are very, very hard to copy and very, very hard to build. And I do believe that I am the one, and I must be the one who does this. So something came up with me last night. It's like, I'm on a roll. I'm building. I'm doing all this cool stuff, and no one can stop me. No one can stop me, until I was able to visualize the companies and the people that could stop me, because they're real and they exist, right? So I'm like, okay, now what? Like you can train for a fight all day, but then when it's time to do your walkout, and then you go into the octagon and the introductions are done, and then they close the cage. Now what? So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm seeing, right? And you have different reactions, right? Some part of you feels fear again, and then this fear is something that I've been able to stomp down a lot over the last couple of weeks, because I'm just going, I'm focused, I'm ready to go, I believe in what I'm doing. But when the fear comes in, the self-doubt comes in, which is you get cocky enough to oh, I've overcome fear. There's no way you can totally overcome fear or self-doubt. It creeps back in, and it comes back constantly, just testing you, asking you constantly, do you still want this as bad as you said that you wanted this yesterday? And then you have to respond every single day. So yesterday I had a moment like that where it's like, oh man, there's competition out there. Oh man, they're doing 30,000 downloads and 3,000 downloads a month, and possibly 3 million a year, 3 to 5 million a year in revenue. Which, depending on what kind of founder you are, what industry you are, it may sound like a lot, it may sound like very little. At this point, the market, I think, is still growing, right? So I still consider it very, very little. And I gotta think big, right? So I'm just wondering, and then all the other fears come in too. It's like, okay, if I start doing well and get some traction, what's gonna stop other people from just coming in and copying me and just squishing me like a bug? So all these things come up in your head, right? But none of them are gonna stop me. I'm not gonna let any of this stuff stop me. But it's important to think about it and to honor that feeling of fear, and then now ask myself, how am I gonna respond to this fear? Okay, I'm gonna keep on doing competitor research and competitor analysis, continuing to find where I can find my product market fit in the market. But there's other schools of thought, right? So I was in my men's business coach training group today, and we were just chatting about it, and I told them hey, these are the feelings that are coming up for me when it comes to competition in this field, where I'm literally a newbie and I'm just building and just trying to hang my hat and a dream on something. And I got a couple of mixed different reviews, but I think or mixed responses, and I think the main response from my coach was that when he builds, he doesn't think about competition, right? He thinks about his desire to serve his customer, his client, and to do the best that he can, because he's bringing something that absolutely nobody else can. And I do believe that for sure. I do believe that the way that I'm building this and the way that I'm approaching the marketing of this, it's so personal. I'm talking about my personal brand, I'm talking about my family, I'm talking about everything that I've gone through to go through self-doubt and imposter syndrome, to still not give up, and not even just give up, but literally go all in on a dream that literally could amount up to absolutely nothing. So I think there's something there, right? That just others are not going to be easy to replicate, because others just do not have the courage to do something like this. Or the privilege. Actually, I have to say I do have the privilege to be able to do something like this, right? After losing my job and having a little bit of severance money, to be able to go out and like invest in myself and like really take a shot. Well, of course, if I take the shot and all my money is gone, then what, right? Then I'm really screwed. But I think being able to get up there, get to the plate, and take a real shot is a real privilege. And I made a post the other day about it. Is that taking risk is a privilege, and not everyone has the privilege to be able to take a risk, right? So if you're out there and you have imposter syndrome about the business you want to run or the dream you have to run, and things are coming up like, well, how do I feed my family in the meantime, right? How do I pay my bills and pay my rent in the meantime? These are things that you have to take care of. These are your priorities, and if you have to do what you have to do to get your bills paid, then like you got to do it, right? Which is where I say taking risk is privilege, because if you're actually able to take a risk and privilege and go all in and live in your mom's basement for a couple of years as you're building this, like literally, like that is a privilege to be able to do so. So never ever compare yourself to someone else's journey, especially if you have big dreams, and especially if you're trying to do something huge, because they're just starting at a different place than you. They could be starting the race like 500 meters ahead of you for like just a 1 kilometer race. And because they have the resources and they have the network, and these are just things that you just cannot, you don't have, and you can't compare yourself to them. And you cannot compare someone's day 300 to your day 1 either. So these are things that keep myself out of this comparison trap, right? But I do have to be aware of like what's out there, who's competing in the space, what are they doing. There's been some great resources too, as I'm taking App Mafia, telling me exactly where to go and find this information and research, besides just plopping it to Manus. And then I might actually just download and subscribe to this app myself too, and just kind of just play around with it and kind of see what I like and what I don't like about it. Anything you do that you think is going to be valuable for your business is going to be a great lever, and for you to work very hard. Eventually, you're going to figure out where's the best place to spend my time when it comes to trying to grow your business and trying to grow something like this. And then you get more efficient, and then you get your lower value activities covered by other people and employees. But when you're just by yourself like this right now, like you're not going to regret going all in on like everything that you think is going to push your business forward. And just staying relentless about it, or at least that's how I think, because I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull, and bulls, like when they see red, they just go for it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I do see red, and I'm just building and going and building and going, and just trying to make sure I have enough energy every single day to be able to keep up. And that's going to be important once you're facing the competition too, right? Because competition is like a marathon. It's like you're literally like in there for like an unlimited amount of rounds in the boxing ring against your competition, right? So got to be mentally prepared for that, got to be physically prepared for that, just like any sport, just like any game. Just you got to show up prepared. And I heard a really, really great quote, and I think I'll end it on this. It's that championships are won in the training room, or championships are won in the gym, right? Wherever you're training. You just go to the competitions to collect your trophy. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. Competitions are won in the gym and the training room. You just go to the competitions to collect your trophy. Boom! Mic drop. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to building now, and I will check back in a couple of days once we get some testing out there. Like this is a huge stage. So right now, to summarize, what I'm working on is getting things up to the Play Store, getting things up to the App Store so people can start downloading and playing and working and giving me valuable advice. While that's going on, I'm going to try not to touch anything in the app, right? And then wait for any feedback to come back before I start tinkering anymore. Okay, I have the app now downloaded on my Google Play. Well, not quite Google Play. I have the old one on Google Play. I have iOS now, which is the big one, the big fish. So I'm glad I'm there. I'll do Google Play by tonight, hopefully. It's not super important, being at only like 10-15% of my testing base, and like literally in the real world, probably only 10-15% of users really as well. So get those two up, and then just continue my competitor analysis, right? And just continue to sharpen my positioning as a product, and continuing to refine that avatar, who I'm trying to serve, and the product and the problems that I'm trying to solve for them. And that is getting clearer, not like super clear. But yeah, that's what we're going to be working towards for the next week ahead. All right. Thank you again for following along. I'm hoping these are going to become a bit more compact and easy to digest. like this one is. I'm gonna try to keep them under 10 minutes. Like the first couple of ones are a little bit longer, but yeah, just, you know, follow along if you're on the reinvention journey, if you believe in self-awareness, gratitude, journaling, and if you're a founder, if you're someone who's growing a business, a dream that you really, really care about, you think is really great, you think it's a gift to the world, and you're just going at it alone, and you have very little resources. So hopefully I can give you inspiration for that, because like that's literally what I'm doing. I don't have a ton of resources, and I'm doing everything by myself, figuring everything out by myself, with AI, of course. I have a lot of great friends in the AI world, and just being able to just, you know, have a problem, approach it, find a solution. Have a problem, find a solution. Have a problem, find a solution, and hopefully you have enough great mentors and other people who are doing something similar to you, or great resources that you can learn from that help you leverage that learning process. And of course, using AI itself as a tool to learn and to teach you as well the next steps that you need to do. It's crazy, honestly. If you ask me to rebuild everything again, like from scratch, like I'd probably take just the amount of time, because I haven't really like documented step by step how I've done everything. Like I had one terminal window open since I started reiterating on Claude Code, and I haven't even closed that window since I started like a month ago. So like if you were to ask me right now, close everything or restart your computer and like restart everything back again, like even that would take me time, because I'm like, okay, which terminals do I open up again? What prompts do I have to run again to like build the staging and the developing area? And then like, how do I get Claude Code up again? And how do I bring it to the folder where I'm working on when it comes to the app? So and then like then there's Railway, and then there's Expogo, and then there's like what else is there now? There's like Sentry, I believe, that's like tracking my error codes. Like, man, the stack is crazy. The stack is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And one more thing I have to do now is that like the guys at App Mafia suggested that I actually get like my stuff designed professionally from a graphic designer when it comes to, you know, getting like screens and products and logos and stuff out there on Figma. So that might cost me a little bit of money too, and we'll see how much that's gonna run me for. All right, thanks very much. I'll see y'all in the next one. I'll see y'all in a couple weeks from now, maybe 1 week from now. Things move fast, so you'll probably hear back from me pretty soon.